My 25 female, fiancé, 26 male, is way more attractive than me and I feel super guilty. What can I do? Hi R, relationship_advice. Ever since my fiancé and I got engaged I've been really struggling with the fact that he's way more attractive than I am. I feel guilty to be honest, like I'm really holding him back and that he deserves someone just as attractive as he is. I have some medical conditions that make it really easy for me to gain weight and super difficult for me to lose it. This has led to a lot of food relationship issues that I still struggle with today. I'm actively trying to lose weight. I've gained about 30 pounds since I've met him, because I feel kind of embarrassed that he has to be seen with me. He's even admitted that he would like for me to lose the weight, so I know it bothers him too. He's tall, in good shape, and just overall has really great features. He's constantly being flirted with by other women, and guys have even complimented him while we're out. On the other hand, I'm overweight and a bit homely. No one compliments me or flirts with me. I have no features that make me stand out like he does. Overall, I'm feeling a mixture of guilt and embarrassment. I don't feel like I deserve him at all and that he could do way better than me. He always offers comfort when I tell him this, that he still thinks I'm beautiful and I have other characteristics that he loves too. But he's made a few offhand comments about how he'd like me to start caring about my appearance again. Which I do. We just don't have the funds right now for me to get things like clothes or haircuts. I can see why he feels that way though. I guess I'm just scared to disappoint him, already feel like I'm disappointing him. I want to lose the weight for him and myself. I don't know why I can't just control my diet. Does anyone else who struggles with this have any words of advice? You sound depressed. I think it's important to take care of your mental health first. Instead of focusing on weight loss specifically, just doing simple exercises can help boost your mood and self-esteem. Focus on getting healthier and stronger mentally and physically. Don't let him put you down. Remember that he chose you. Why did he choose you? He could be with any other woman. He loves you. Let that sink in. Be confident. Warning. If you feel like he's marrying you for a green card or paying his bills etc., then please run. I would say you feel like that because he is subtly putting you down. Does he make other comments on your appearance besides your weight? What did he say specifically that told you he wants you to lose weight? Was it out of concern for your health or disgust at your appearance? As a man who's been in a similar situation, find a way to overcome your insecurities. That will turn him off more than anything physical. Does he offer support for your medical condition? Does he understand that the condition makes losing weight really difficult? I find it a bit ableist that he's making comments like that. You cannot control the fact that you have a medical condition. If he wants you to get clothes, a haircut, is he willing to pay for those things for you? Your fiancé is capable of making his own choices. You didn't trick him into loving you, he chose to love you. Never forget that. My parents, 59M, 59F, do not accept my wife, 33F, after 11 years of marriage. Too long did not read. I, 33M, father of 3, running a small business, and emotionally exhausted from parents' constant criticism and disrespect toward me and my wife, 33F. I don't know how to keep contact and relationship to my parents, 59M, 59F, anymore. I, 33M, married and have 3 kids, 8, 5, and 3. I run my own small business, with 3 employees and recently built our family home, some of it with my own hands, not completed yet but we live there. Since my youth, I'm under constant emotional pressure mainly due to a very difficult relationship with my parents. The last bit is that they do not accept my wife after 11 years of our marriage. First, I am an only child. My parents are originally from another, Eastern, European country. There my mother was a librarian and my father a military pilot. We moved to the West when I was 12, and they had to start over. My father became a truck driver, and my mother took up factory job. As they say, to provide me a bright future, my parents managed to buy and renovate a house, where I lived with them until I got married. Growing up, my relationship with them was strained. They often overreacted and escalated conflicts. One example, when I overslept, was lazy to stand up for school at 17, my father poured a gallon of water over me in bed. I've had emotional breakdowns in the past, including threatening self-harm to escape their pressure. My father once smashed our home phone during an argument because I was talking too long on a phone. Arguments usually revolve around guilt and past actions. Even now, they constantly bring up things I said or did years ago. They criticize my job, clothes, my behavior, my choices, even how I dress. I prefer practical, nerdy clothes. I'm bio-IT guy. But they've insisted I should look like a real man or chef. They give unsolicited advice at every visit: what to wear, how to build, how to live, and disregard my personal preferences entirely when I ask them to calm down. Last year, before building our home, we had to take their house as a security. Self-employment sucks in this aspect. Later I had to borrow money from them and sell my stock portfolio planned for my pension. Hard times, material prices exploded while we built and company stagnated a bit. I had to build things on my own inside the house. This evolved in even more criticism. They accuse me of messing up my future, my life and my kids, and constantly tell me how I should do things differently in great detail, even when it's completely unhelpful, e.g., how to run a business or to plaster a driveway. Even the walls were not up. Being someone who learns a lot of stuff and approaches things scientifically, random advices like these on what and how I must do drive me nuts. They heavily criticize my wife, not in front of her. She is a calm and respectful person, and rarely speaks unless spoken to, especially around them, which they interpret as disrespect and not social. They accuse her of manipulating me and say I'm a henpecked husband. Yesterday, on our wedding anniversary, they told me they never wished for me the life like I am living, not even in their nightmares. This ruined my mood for a planned dinner with my wife. My parents took the kids. Also, they heavily criticized my wife's one-week vacation, beginning this year, with her mother and sister while I stayed home with the kids and worked on the house, calling her unloving and selfish. No loving wife would ever leave his husband in that situation and do vacation, while he works hard on a house. Telling my parents it was absolutely okay for me and that I wanted her to take a break and agreed to the vacation ended in calling me manipulable and henpecked, I would anyway say yes. It hurts me deeply to hear these things, especially because my relationship with my wife is strong even in harder financial times like now. Her family, also from Eastern Europe, is supportive and non-intrusive at all, compared to my parents. My father-in-law, military major, and I often go to their sauna together, drink and talk freely. It's peaceful without anyone give unnecessary advices or criticism. In contrast, almost every visit to my parents ends in heated argumentation, discussions or emotional explosion. My wife hears and sees all of this, and it affects her too. She becomes angry on my behalf, and this creates further angriness and distance between her and my parents. To make things more complicated, we all live in the same small city. Moving away isn't an option right now due to our children's schooling and our social circle. Cutting off contact entirely also doesn't feel realistic because of the kids. They love their grandparents and like to visit them. Also, I borrowed money from them. But I don't know how to maintain any relationship with my parents when I know how little they respect me, my choices, and especially my wife. Their behavior makes me feel judged and angry. I often explode emotionally and counterattack on their weak points, which I regret afterwards, but I don't know how to stay calm when I'm constantly under attack, even passively. I'm exhausted, and I don't know how to set boundaries that they will respect or how to live with the knowledge of what they think of me or my wife. We had several very hard talks with each other, but it changed the situation only for a month or two. Yesterday, on my wedding anniversary, they used up the last bit of my patience, again. How can I approach my parents to maintain a good relationship and rethink the way they treat me and my wife? You really think your kids can't pick up on the fact that their grandparents don't like their mother? My dad's family doesn't even dislike my mom, but they don't treat her well and on occasion have completely crossed the line. I lost a lot of respect for my father because he allowed it for so long. You took their house as a security deposit, borrowed money from them. Maybe that is why they feel they can talk down to you. If you have such a good relationship with your in-laws, why didn't you ask them for their house as a security deposit? They could be thinking this: we helped them with their house and his wife doesn't even talk to us. She comes here and ignores us, but when they needed money, he has to ask us and not her parents. This is hypothetical. Disentangling yourself from them is hard as they can remove their surety at any time and you could lose your home. Have you tried sitting down and telling your folks all this? If that hasn't worked, consider setting the boundary that they can think that all they want, but you don't want to hear it from them, and then if they tell you anyway, leave their house, or hang up the phone. Try also just no mother-in-law and just no family for more advice. You parents are abusive, to you and you wife. Look up narcissistic personality disorder and the gray rock technique. I suggest you sit him down at their house, tell them calmly as possible that you will not take their treatment anymore and you will be going low or no contact. They will pitch a fit, guilt trip you, etc. Gray rock them. Leave. Then do it. The only way you should continue to see them is they go to family therapy with you. If you do nothing, your kids are next on their hit list. First question. What makes you think a different approach is going to change anything in 11 years? You say you're in your 30s? Your parents have no intention of respecting you because of your attitude toward them. Your approach to them is as a teenager still living under their roof. Up to now, they have no reason to speak with you as an adult. If you want to be considered and spoken to as an adult, you need to behave as one. No exceptions, not even no, wait, especially with your parents. How do I, 53F, tell a friend to stop bringing her 2 male kid to everything? I, 53F, am part of a close-knit friend group of empty nester women from 2 other countries living in a third country where most of us are new immigrants. We live in an international tourist hotspot and one of the most beautiful places in the world. There are hundreds of things to do on any given day, and we enjoy live music, dining out, the beach, road trips, group activities, and sometimes just getting together at one's house to hang out. We each value our group dynamic and one-on-one friendships with each other that have just formed over the last 4 months. Some of us have known each other a little longer, but only by months. One hard rule is that no one is to be excluded and all invites are posted in the group WhatsApp chat. We are a fun bunch, where drinking alcohol and smoking weed are entirely acceptable. Lacey, 35F, is the youngest of the group by an entire generation but is a valued friend. The problem is that she brings her 2-year-old to every gathering and event without notice. This seems to not bother 2 of the members of the group, and they like playing auntie and entertaining him, taking him for walks while the rest of us eat, keeping him from destroying things at the table or in our homes. He's as well behaved as any 2-year-old can be, but I don't want to hang out with a toddler. They think it's cute and fun for a 2-year-old to be headbanging at a bar at 10 p.m. I do not. Lacey still allows him to flagrantly whip her tits out and chug away before, during and after our meals and all activities. I am 100% pro-nursing, but I don't want to see my friend's tits more than I see my own. I am embarrassed to be around them in public because she does not watch him or have the same standards as I find acceptable in public. I knew one of my friends didn't want to be around kids either, as she's already raised her own and a couple grandchildren for several years. Today, after the kid disrupted yet another beautiful beachside upscale brunch, another of the friends admitted that she hates it too. We're going on a road trip this weekend for a birthday, and you guessed it, the kid is coming. So one couple dropped out and only the wife will come now. Lacey is married and the dad is involved with no problems taking care of him. She just doesn't ask or leave him with the kid because she doesn't see it as an imposition on anyone. On the rare occasion she does leave the kid with him, he shows up with the kid wherever we are and just sits separately or weird things like that because of their mind games. He parent the kid and take him so she can go by herself, but she doesn't. She could also get a babysitter or just not join everything we do. She does miss a few things sometimes if it's like an art class where kids just aren't allowed at all. I don't know how to say that I don't want to hang out with a 2-year-old, none of us do. I feel she needs friends her own age with kids, and I'm able to tell her that part. All I can think is how rude it will sound if I inquire each time if the kid will be there before accepting an invitation or specifying everyone but the kid is welcome when I invite. How do we say we don't want the kid around without hurting feelings? It's entirely possible that the 2 other ladies will say they have no problem with it whatsoever. Tia, ETA. My 2 friends agreed we should take this to Reddit before broaching in the group, and I showed it to one of them before posting. They will be following along tomorrow. I'm a recovering people pleaser and hate confrontation. I do like being around Lacey, obviously not her real name, in the group setting. We opt out of events offered in the group like the circus because, obviously, one friend is considering all but abandoning the group because of it. I like her and want her to keep coming around. Part of the dynamic is that we're all different, and we welcome like-minded newcomers of all ages, but right now, it's just us old ladies. There were other 30-somethings, but they were child-free and have left the group. We can enjoy getting our nails done together one-on-one, shopping is fun together, and holidays are fine with the whole family, and we all invite others. If she's bringing her 2-year-old to a bar, hints and subtle nudges aren't going to do it. I'd talk to her instead of asking in group chat if her child is coming, which would be pretty rude. Tell her you love her and her child. Even if it's not true, but you prefer to attend adult-only events. Ask her to let you know if her child will be coming and you'll bow out. If she gets offended, she gets offended. You might end up having to hang out with the others individually or in smaller groups, but you weren't enjoying the all-inclusive events anymore because of the child anyway. I think you'll have to specify each event that is child-free or people bring their kids. Simple as that. When you invite, you can say, no children. But you can't decide that for all events. Unless everyone else in the group has agreed they don't want to be friends with Lacey, it isn't on you to tell her to get friends her own age or to never bring her kid with her. The way you talk about her breastfeeding and her marriage, it sounds like you don't like her very much. You can choose not to be friends with her, but you can't choose that for everyone else in your group. You're trying to figure out a way to do this indirectly and arguing with everyone who rightly says that's not going to work. The problem is you're not the only member of this friend group and your opinion isn't the only one that matters. If you decide to talk to her about this, you need to make sure the other group members are on board. Here's why. If you bring it up on your own, and this friend gets upset about it, your other friends might take her side, which will make you look like the bad guy. If the other group members won't back you up, there's no point in asking this friend not to bring her son. Good lord, your breastfeeding comments are so weird. Like drenched in venom and disgust. I doubt you're a recovering people pleaser from the gross way you've written this. What's a valid reason to break up? 25F and 25M. I 25 female just broke up with my boyfriend 25M of 2 years. There was arguably nothing wrong other than compatibility, life goals, and the intertwining of our families. He is supportive, loving, and kind. When we first met, online, he made it seem like he had a different career and a different height. I got over the height once I got to know him. His career has been a sore subject for me, although I have a full-time career in the corporate world and he works for a retail company. I have a degree and he received a technical certificate that is unrelated to his job. He made it seem like he worked in IT, but then found out he was in retail. I tried to let it go. He just barely started working full-time. He gets weekends off every once in a while, but he also only wishes to spend time with me 1 day a week. He thought I wanted to spend too much time with him. He set a boundary several times that he thinks 1 day a week is ideal. We still called and texted throughout the day. It's just his preference for spending time face to face. I didn't sign up for an online relationship with someone who lives 12 minutes away. When he's with my family, it doesn't feel like they like him that much. We often have conversations about the world and talk about life, and he can't engage at the level of everyone else. These are the reason I've come up with and why I've had this gut feeling I should break up with him. Now I'm struggling to know if it was a good choice. I feel like I made a huge mistake because I feel like my reasons aren't good enough. Did I make a dumb decision? Are these reasons even worth a connection that was filled with joy, laughter, and him being the only person I've ever felt fully myself with? You think compatibility and life goals aren't a valid reason to break up? That's the core of a long-term relationship. That's everything. Someone who's nice to you is the low bar. The very foundation of your relationship was built on lies. Haven't continued dating him after that. He's clearly insecure about himself. People who don't love themselves can't fully give love. Move on. You can break up for any reason. Just gently opt. Do you have a problem over romanticizing things once they're over? Kind of like a retroactive FOMO? IDK, that sounds like a reasonable reason to say goodbye. You want someone who is more than willing to put more effort in building a life together. Nothing wrong with that. If I have been dating someone for 2 years and we were not living together, I'd probably dump as well. Though that may not be the general consensus in relationships nowadays, but in reality that doesn't matter. What matters is that you were not happy, felt you were misled, and felt things should be different. If you feel strongly enough that you made a mistake, you can always reach out and bring these concerns to him. It's what I would do. How he reacts or talks to you after should be the red or green flag in the situation. Woman shrugging. Your reasons are literally fundamental to relationship success. Trust yourself. Also, this guy is just shit and doesn't even really seem to be that into it.